host, Chad Porto, and joining me as always is the Thackerayest of Thackeray's, the cattiest of cats, the Zachary Tyler Pew Pew whatchamacallit. Hey there, hi there, ho there, what up, buddy Duncan?
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. Hidely hordly, neighboroni. This is Making an Impact, your YouTube exclusive for the Wrestling Underground YouTube channel. Brought to you by RealNerdCorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. That's RealNerdCorp.com, your one-stop shop for all things pineapple flavored. Get the fuck out of here. If we ever do that, you know I'm not me. I've been taken over by a body snatcher. Kill me.
Damn body snatchers.
Or get it out of me. I don't know. Like whatever. Like if you can save me, save me. Like let's not get excessive here. Like if it's only slightly in, if it's like a yerk from the Animorph and it's only slightly in my ear canal, like please pull it out. Don't shoot me. And if I tell you I'm definitely not an alien parasite, believe me. Because I feel like Zach's getting really gung-ho about the idea of shooting me in the face with a shotgun. So now I'm trying to mediate his expectations. Temper them down. Oh boy. Easy. So, we're live on twitch.tv/Wrestling Underground. We are here on a Wednesday at 9:21 p.m. You can find our other podcast, the Wrestling Mainstream Podcast, which we talk about New Japan, AEW, and WWE on the same YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/The Wrestling Underground. With all that being said, we got the plugs in. We'll hit our personals at the end of the show because that's just how we do things. Zach, let's talk about last night's Impact. We are on the road to Bound for Glory. So let's talk about it. Because Bound for Glory, I'm not going to lie, is...
I wholeheartedly agree.
We went from having such an exciting Slammiversary season to just the most disappointing Bound for Glory season. It's like, hey, remember when Valentine's Day and we were happy because we had Valentine's and then Sweetest Day rolled around and she was hooking up with our best friend? That's kind of how this feels. That whore.
Slut.
Speaking of sluts, let's talk about Hernandez.
The sluttiest of all.
We open up the show with Heath, who doesn't have a contract, but he's in the match because logic. He's taking on Cousin Jake and Hernandez and Alicia and Rhino. The winner will enter at number 20. The loser enters at number 1. Obviously, this is one of those things where like you eliminate all the people, then the last one standing gets the pin, and the pin gets to go as number 1. It's a weighted system of expectations. No, you got like what did Timothy Olyphant say in The Girl Next Door? God, she's hot. Yeah, well, that and you got to know if the juice is worth the squeeze, right? So you go into this match thinking if I lose, if I get eliminated before I get pinned, well, I could get number 19. That'd be awesome. But if I get pinned, I'm going at number 1. But if I win, I go in at number 20. So like I don't know. It's nice. I'm not a fan of the intergenderness. Then again, this is also a sign of the Impact roster being absolutely gutted.
Completely and utterly.
You would think that if you had no mid-card, you wouldn't put 8 guys in the tag title match and 5 guys in the X Division match. You would, I don't know, spread them out and...
No.
That's
nonsense.
What? Did you know I rebooked Impact? Bound for Glory 2020?
Did you?
I did. So that's how much time you spent on the website.
Yeah.
For shame. For shame. But we'll talk about my rebooking here in a second. Hernandez wins. Rhino got pinned. Everyone else got thrown out. It's later announced that if Heath and Rhino win, they get jobs, or Heath gets a job, regardless of which one wins, plus a title shot.
Yes.
But if Rhino and Heath both fail to win, then Rhino is fired as well. And I'm like, Y'all don't already, like, y'all are, all right, listen. You got the Rascals, you got Chris Bay, you got Willie Mack, you got some workers. But in terms of roster quality, while the WWE may be booking like it's WCW 2000, the Impact roster looks like it's the roster of WCW 2000. So you can't really afford to have people who have name value get fired or leave or do anything that makes your company look bad. So I don't know why you're even threatening firing Rhino. He's like your third biggest name on your roster. I think it's time for Scott D'Amore to go. I may be joking, but when I'm talking about D'Amore being the head booker, I am not. Oh, I am not joking. Because I know how this fucking pay-per-view is going to go. The Good Brothers are going to win. Rich Swann's going to win. Kylie Ray's going to win. Rohit will probably retain. It's fucking predictable because of the fucking past business practices of one Scott Sinadida D'Amore. I'm not excited about this. Jimmy Jacobs gets kidnapped mid-interview with EC3. That's fair.
Yeah.
That sounds about right for a guy his stature. Johnny Bravo's furious after his wedding rehearsal doesn't go according to plan. You got a bunch of drunks and Alicia as your wedding party. What did you expect?
What could possibly go wrong?
It's like, it's like, all right, man. By the by, have you seen the new commercial for the Animaniacs revival?
I have not.
The cartoon is updated and looks a little bit more computery than animated-y, but I'm telling you, save for like a joke, I couldn't spot the difference. And to be fair, it's not like the Animaniacs didn't go into those realms before.
Mm-hmm.
So like it seems very much Animani, totally insane, Pinky and the Brainy, Animaniacs, those are the facts. So yay.
Hey.
So thoughts on Johnny Bravo's Meltdown? Solid review.
Yeah, happens. What? It's the same meltdown that he's been having for the past 3 weeks, so just not really anything new going on here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bound is slipping right along. Rosemary defeated Havoc, and she's like, "Hey, if I win, you gotta bring back the James Mitchell." And she's like, "Didn't you ask me to do this in like August?" And she's like, "Yeah, I guess. I don't fucking know. Booking's terrible." Yeah, Scott D'Amore is really high on those goddamn bear claws from Tim Hortons. Maple honey hockey pucks. I don't know what the fuck they are. Terrible. So James Mitchell's coming back. Woo! Are we all aboard the Excite train for James Mitchell return?
I am.
The red guy. So then we get Jimmy Jacobs. He's been brought to an undisclosed location. It's the backstage area. And EC3 is like, "Hey, did you know I'm also on Ring of Honor television this week?" And he was. And it wasn't much better. How did you re-sign EC3 and then make him the least interesting guy in your roster?
Right?
No one wants this, "I'm so cool, listen to the narrative" guy. We want EC3 back.
We were perfectly happy with the EC3 that we had before.
Yeah, not just perfect, we were ecstatic.
We loved it.
Trouble. No, the only trouble we're having is getting into this goddamn product. So, MLW, they have a character named Richard Holiday, who's a thinner, taller version of EC3. And maybe even more entertaining, because he just goes full 1980s Republican shitheel. Like he's goddamn Michael J. Fox from Family Ties. Was that show, Family Ties? Was that the one with Michael J. Fox?
I believe so.
That's basically Richard Holiday. He's like, "Listen," and what does he call fans? He calls fans consumers. It's great. He's bringing in disgraced NBA referee Tim Donaghy, who actually spent time in prison for fixing NBA basketball games. And he's going to be Richard Holiday's special specific referee going forward. Zach, I can't tell you how excited I am for MLW's return. By the by, even though they do post on YouTube all their episodes, I now have not Fubo. What's the other one? BN Sports, because I had to get CBS Sports to cover Bellator, and it came with the package. So I'm like, I'm going to start setting my DVR thingy. It's not technically DVR, but still, to watch MLW on television. That's right. I got MLW on my TV before I got Impact on my TV. Hey, maybe, I don't know, don't put out a shitty product and make me depressed with all your terribleness.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you're trying to be ECW, and I don't know, don't do that. The one feud I did care about is just, I'm just skipping the nonsense at this point with Eddie Edwards and Ken Shamrock because I want to see how the match turns out. Everything else I could give a fuck about. Like this entire show, like, are we even going to review this week's show? Because I feel like neither one of us cares. The build-up for Bound for Glory has been garbage.
It's so bad. And, I mean, obviously this week was the standard go-home show where it's mostly recapping feuds and things, but none of the feuds are interesting. Like, EC3's interview with Jimmy Jacobs, like, his interview, like, encompassed, like, three different feud angles, like, in one thing. It's like, what are you trying to do? Are we correcting our narrative? Are we making Moose a better wrestler? Are we being completely and totally insane? Pick one. Pick your favorite and stick with it. It's not that hard.
It's really not. It's so not. So here's what happened real fast. Sami Callihan beat Eddie thanks to, I don't know, shenaniganry. Shamrock got involved. Willie Mack, TJP, and Trey Miguel defeated Chris Page, Jordan Grayson, Rohit Raju in a six-person tag match. And the North and the Good Brothers went to a no contest because of kerfuffles. And that's it. That's it. So here's how it should have looked, because I'm a genius. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Ultimate X match. Just here it is. Ultimate X match. Rohit versus Dez versus Wentz versus Trey versus Mac versus Bay. Right there. Boom. Okay. Classic X Division. We're going to keep the call your shot battle royal thingamabobber. Tommy Dreamer, TJP, Fala, Bob, Brian Myers, Heath, Rhino, Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, Cody Deaner, Cousin Jay, Crazy Steve, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, because fuck them. Hernandez, Johnny Swinger, Caleb with a K, Luster, Thornstow, Sami Callihan, Triple XL, EY, and Rich Swann. Why? Because fuck why. Then we have a tag team, an Impact Knockout tag team elimination match. It's Taya and Rosemary versus Tasha Steelz and Kara Hogan versus Kylie and Alicia versus Havoc and Neva. Oh, look, we're giving to women more airtime without having to do intergender stupidity. Just because I got nothing else for either guy, EC3 versus Moose for the TNA World Championship, because it just makes sense. Why destroy something that could actually be valuable?
I mean, I was all for EC3 versus Moose for the TNA World Title until they gave us the reasonings behind it.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Jordan Graves versus Deonna Purrazzo. You have to understand that in my rebooking, I just said, hey, you know how they rushed these two matches? We're not going to rush them. So in this rebooking, we didn't have the other match between Graves and Parrazzo. So this would be the other match. Same thing with the North and the Motor City Machine Guns. Because I want the Good Brothers nowhere near these goddamn tag team titles. Fuck that noise. And then in the main event, in a no-ropes submission-only match, Ken Shamrock versus Eddie Edwards. for the world title because Eddie's still champion. Because I'm not an idiot and thinking, oh yeah, Eric Young's gonna draw. So dumb. So dumb. You know what would have been better?
Listen.
Besides my booking? Them bringing back the Yeti.
Oh, the Yeti.
The Yeti. The Yeti. So, in case you were wondering, and I know you were, Rohit would have retained in my Ultimate X match. Let's see what I wrote here. Dreamer, Heath, Callahan, Swan are the last 4 standing. Callahan knocks out Dreamer. I did not edit this at all. Like it's. I rushed this shit at 3 a.m. Whatever. Heath knocks out Callahan. Swan catches Heath by surprise. He picks up he picks a cage match so he can face off with EY. So EY can actually get his because you know if you want to do a feud where guys are feuding, I don't know, don't force feed it a world title stipulation that no one thinks it deserves. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So like you could main event the next show or the next big Impact Plus with a cage match. It's pretty simple. Knockout tag team title match. Rosemary and Taya are the first ones eliminated because their partnership breaks down because obviously this is not long for the world. Havoc knocks out Neva by accident, allowing Susie and Kylie to eliminate them. But then Akira and company. Who did I pick one? Susie still ringside, attacks Kylie. Oh yeah, that's right. Susie goes full heel, attacks Kylie, and Hogan. All right, so I gotta explain this a little bit because it's a lot more in depth in the article. In the article, I put Kylie and Alicia together, and Susie was kind of their third, so to speak. And Susie went cuckoo town crazy pants in this write-up, and went full Su Young on Kylie, allowing Kira Hogan, and Tasha Steelz to pin Alicia. That's why that went down the way it did. I'm getting boops. Why am I getting boops? Jordan Grace, EC3, beats Moose to win the world title, and announces in his post-fight interview that he will destroy the title once and for all. Although I'm sitting here thinking maybe EC3 goes in the opposite direction and tries to resurrect TNA. I think that's a better storyline idea.
Yeah,
that's just my idea. Plus, you could bring back Matt Bentley for some reason. I am 100% always looking for reasons to bring back Matt Bentley. Jordan Grace talks about how she's been working on something new in a pre-match interview for the Knockouts Championship match. The bell rings and Grace hits a roaring forearm that knocks Parrazzo out cold. Grace pins her within seconds. This sets up a pay-per-view headlining bout between Parrazzo and Grace for a third match and a submission or KO only match. Because the idea in the storyline was that Parrazzo was making Grace tap like a punk. And now Grace is knocking her out like a punk. So it's like, oh, who's got the bigger upper hand? Is it Grace's strength or Parrazzo's submission specialist? I don't know. I like writing matches that have stories. Fucking weird.
That's crazy.
Right? Why just do big spots, Chad? Why you do big spots?
We shun that in this society. Shun.
It's shun. Paige and Alexander go a little bit more aggro, but Shelley's able to counter Paige with a sliced bread and wins the match. Paige then slaps Alexander post-match, setting up a potential feud between the North members. They're not really going to feud, but the idea is to sprinkle it in there. And then in the main event, I got Shamrock winning. Because fuck what? Well, why not? He's the biggest star on the fucking roster, and he's 56. So basically, it's written out. Shamrock's able to work through Eddie's guard and constant pressure to get Eddie to tap. Post-match, Shamrock tells Eddie that that this shouldn't have happened. That Eddie's wolf is dead. The idea would be to bring back Eddie as a more psychotic submission specialist psychopath, not like an acting psychopath where he has to do actual acting because God knows that's not a good idea. But like someone who actually like gets himself into shape and starts putting people in submission holds and basically does to people what Pentagon was doing when he was still cool, and not just this fucking whatever.
When he was breaking people's arms.
Right, when he was so fucking cool. It's just the fucking tits. All right, so we got some news with the Impact, so let's hit that, and then we'll get into the Bound for Glory preview. It's been announced on the press pass that Deonna Purrazzo has signed a new long-term deal with Impact Wrestling. Deonna says, I've been waiting to be able to talk about this publicly. I'm happy to confirm and so excited about the future of what Impact holds. Purrazzo spoke in the past about building her own brand following her WWE exit, and Impact has the tools to let her do that. Here are a few of her own words. There we go, Chad. Good job, buddy. You can speak. I spent 5 years in public education speech therapy. Okay, get off my back, Zach. Fuck. You wonder why I always take shots at you. That's actually not untrue. I did spend 4 years. Wait, no, 5. I was in there in kindergarten. So yeah, 5 years. I was out in 4th grade. I did have the speaking problems. Clearly, I don't anymore.
Clearly. All cleared up.
The problem was I couldn't pronounce my name. I always say Tad or Thad. I couldn't get the ch. Now I can. Chad. Zach. Before I used to say Zach. No, that's not true. That would have been hilarious if I did. Bill Pritchard of WrestleZone asked WrestleZone managing editor, did WrestleZone have a shakeup? When did it become a managing? I don't know. Well, Parrazzo said to Bill Pritchard on the press call, that is so important to me. With the opportunities that Impact can afford to her. And I think that as a professional wrestler and individuals that are looking for new opportunities to build their own brand and be successful in new avenues, Impact is one of the few places that lets all of its talent do that. We can explore other ventures while continuing to build ourselves as professional wrestlers. For me, that means everything. To have the security long-term as a professional wrestler, but it has the ability to explore other projects and explore who I am outside of wrestling as well. Now, this is actually an interesting point of I don't want to say contention, that's not the right word, but an interesting follow-up, there we go, from last night's show where Marcus is a little bit darker than you, Zach.
Slightly.
Where we had a conversation, Marcus and I, were like, we don't have an issue with Deonna Purrazzo as champion. We have an issue with Impact putting the belt on another new star right off the bat. And we also have a problem with Impact putting the belt on somebody who isn't under contract. Well, that's no longer the situation. So that's good. That's one thing. And, you know, if they give Parrazzo like a 2-year run with that belt, okay, fair enough. You know, we subscribe to the notion that you know, flip-flopping is not a bad thing. Pancaking is a delicious breakfast treat and not something to be ashamed of when you have new information given to you. It's okay to change your mind when you're like, oh, shit, broccoli's good for you? Oh, I didn't know. So if Parrazzo ends up, you know, having a great run and holds the belt for a long time and does great work with great things, yeah, we'll obviously look at her title reign as a good thing. But right now, Grace's title run was so short and so, you know, I don't want to say useless because that's not the right word, but it's so underwhelming. It's underdelivered is, I think, the right word. It wasn't underwhelming. It underdelivered. Like, we ordered a pizza, wings, a couple Philly cheesesteaks, chocolate cake, fucking 4 cases of bubbly because, you know, don't drink pop. It's terrible for you. And, like, they show up with, like, a 2-foot-long sub sandwiches and like, the best fucking mozzarella sticks you've ever had. Like, all right, cool. It's still good, but it ain't what we ordered. Our expectations were not fulfilled, even though, you know, it was not bad. Like, hey, we're not angry about it. So I think that's the issue is, you know, Grace had a run that was essentially cut short, and we didn't get to see a lot of her because she spent the first set of tapings, I think, or the first 2 sets of tapings. Or was the first taping 8 weeks? Is that what it was? Do you remember?
That sounds right.
So, like, the first tapings back from the first COVID break, you know, she got next to no play. Like, she was gone for that entire 8-week set. And then she came back and only to build up to her loss at Slammiversary. So, like, we didn't get a lot with her as champion. And even though I think Jordynne Grace as a person can be insufferable, she's pro wrestling's Brie Larson. Like Brie Larson, I accept, acknowledge, and fully endorse the idea that she is phenomenal. And I want to see more of her. I would just like to not hear her talk so much about things that kind of just don't matter. If I have to hear Jordynne Grace talk about how she's a performance artist one more time, oh my God. I'm not going to do anything drastic, rude, or weird, but, like, I will be slightly more perturbed than I usually am. I don't think Zach heard me.
No, I heard you.
So Zach's just not giving me my pity laughs this week. Fuck me, I guess.
No, I laughed. Apparently, you didn't hear me.
No, I did not. All right, so Sportskeeda did an interview with Chris Sabin. Sabin's in the middle of being a tag team champ in the Impact. When asked which original he would like to bring back to the promotion, if he could rehire any other Impact Wrestling original. Okay, that's what it was. So I was right. He said Amazing Red. Oh, I would love to have Amazing Red back, Chris Sabin said. I think that would be great. Amazing Red was so influential on me in the early years of the X Division. I think it would be great to have him back. Plus, I really like him as a dude. The problem is Red keeps retiring. Literally, he retires every other week. I think he unretired for New Japan this year.
Yeah.
But that was it.
How many injuries has that man had at this point?
Well, I think Chris Sabin wants to bring Amazing Red back because they're neck and neck in the ACL damage department. And I'm pretty sure Sabin may be wanting to make sure Red takes home the gold in that regard. I wouldn't be surprised if Sabin like walks up, hugs him, and goes, "Red, what's going on? I missed you, buddy," and then takes a fucking crutch to his kneecap. I think I sprained my knee. Sprained out of tornado? No, I think it's just a sprain, man. Oh, let me help you out. I'm such a butterfinger. He grabs a sledgehammer and cracks him in the side of his knee. Is it torn now? Yeah, I think it's torn now. Okay, good. Chris Sabin, you dastardly dog, you. Lastly, Daga has been released from the company. Daga Richards, I'm sorry, not Daga Richards. He got married, and I should be more respectful to who he is. Daga Blanchard got released from the company. He's gone, despite rumors, I think in like June, where Daga wanted to repair the relationship. He apparently asked for his release. And now he's gone. And I don't think anyone cares.
Surprise.
Right? Like if I'm gonna have like a 5'6" dude with jack triceps who does big kicks, I'm gonna ask for it to be Davey Richards, and if that upsets Ethan Page, I generally don't give a fuck. I will we all got that one guy who's super problematic in our favorites. For Zach, it's The Undertaker. Like that dude, like I bet you Taker's got some shit in his closet, right? You don't hang out with the Harris brothers for as long as he did and not have some shit in your closet. Just throwing that one out there. For me, it's Davey. I accept that. I know Davey's not a good dude. He might be a decent dude. He might be a reformed bad dude, but like, no one's going to sit here and confuse him for Mick Foley, and we're fine with that. Daniel Bryan called him the greatest worker he's ever worked. And most people call Daniel Bryan the greatest worker they've ever seen. So, like, I'm going to take his word for it.
Yeah.
Bring back Davey and fuck all. By Daga. All right, let's do our preview. Marcus gave his predictions on last night's Underground download, which should be up on the website now at realnerdcorp.com, RealNerdcorp.com. So you can go and listen to who he has winning in his Bound for Glory predictions. Zachary, are you ready to do ours?
Peace out.
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out a little bit.
I said I am ready.
All right, then let's do this. In the Call Your Shot Gauntlet Battle Royal, it's AC Romero versus Alicia Edwards versus Cody Deaner versus Brian Myers versus Havoc, versus Heath versus Hernandez versus Larry D versus Rhino versus Taya Valkyrie versus Tennille Dashwood versus Tommy Dreamer. I don't see Cousin Jake listed at all.
I don't either. That's weird.
That's disconcerting. We got TBD.
Oh man,
Love me some TBD.
TBD's tough.
Remember that one year Eli Drake took on James Ellsworth?
Yeah, I remember that.
Who's you got in the Call Your Shot?
I miss Eli Drake.
So do I.
I'm gonna give it to Heath because obviously the whole thing has been built up to Heath getting signed. So either he or Rhino are going to win. And just, based on current practices, Heath gonna win, and then he's gonna go on to win whatever championship he calls it a shot for. Because obvious.
I'm gonna wrinkle your MacGuffin up a bit.
Oh, damn it! Hate when
Rhino,
people do it.
Rhino, Myers, and Heath are last. Rhino gets eliminated by Myers. Heath eliminates Myers. He gets a contract. Rhino is all celebratory, and later on in the night, he's like, oh, we're gonna smash the Good Brothers because they're gonna win the tag titles. Like, duh.
Ups.
And Heath will be like, oh, sorry there, Rhino buddy. I'm challenging for the world title. And then Rhino will be like, wait, I thought we had a plan, Heath. And he's like, sorry, man, my plan don't involve you anymore. Friction, feuds, rivalries, matches. And then Rhino will cost Heath the world title match because Rhino goes full heel. Or it goes face. I don't know. In that case, they're both kind of dicks. That's my prediction. Heath wins. Rhino gores him. Later on. Eddie versus Ken Shamrock, singles match. Not the no ropes, knockout, submission, tap out only match that I was booking, but it's
For the world
Impact.
title.
Yeah. There's a good version of this match, and then there's what we're getting. They ain't the same thing. Zach, who you picking?
I am gonna pick the Shamrock. Because if you're gonna do all this, then what would be the point in having him lose all of a sudden? Now, if it didn't have this build up to it with Sami Callihan pulling the strings and unleashing the new fury that is Ken Shamrock, then I could see it going either way.
Mm-hmm.
Have Shamrock be yet another legend that kind of passes the torch on to Eddie, as because every single legend that comes in needs to do that apparently. But yeah, with how they've built it up, it's gonna be Shamrock.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a good bout.
Yeah.
But I really don't see it being super entertaining booking because Scott D'Amore's not good at it. Like we're seeing it in execution. This is a bad card. I too am going with the Shamrock. Moose versus the EC3 Thackeray.
I'm gonna give it to the EC3.
I'm gonna give it to the EC3 as well. Intergender scramble match: Bay, Grace, TJP, Trey Miguel, William Mack, Rohit Raju. We didn't start the fire. Like I'm terrified of it being Jordan Grace because I'm done with it. I'm done with intergender wrestling. Like it's not entertaining. I cannot get into it. It's just so blah. And it devalues the women's division. Like I don't even think people realize that. If you can if you're that good that you can beat dudes, why are you wrestling women? And if you're so needing to prove yourself against men, then you are inherently saying that women are inferior. So what the fuck's the point?
You are exactly correct. If you are saying that I've beaten the women, now I need to challenge myself against the men, then you're better than all the women. All the other women in the division are beneath you now. So congratulations.
I remember
at least Deonna Purrazzo in her hype package said that the Knockouts title was the most prestigious title in the company. That's how you build up the division.
Yeah. And I got no problem with that. I've been covering combat sports for a little while now. And the one thing I'll tell you is when you have weighted divisions instead of, what Impact and Pro Wrestling do where you have like tiers of talent divisions, I guess. What you end up doing is you make more stars, number one. If you have a world champion at different weight classes, you have multiple world champions, and there's no one's the world heavyweight, the other one's the WWE champion, the other one's the WWE world heavyweight champion, the other one's the Universal champion. No, in reality, you would just have a welterweight, a lightweight, a light heavyweight, a middleweight, a heavyweight, a super heavyweight, a women's bantamweight, women's flyweight, whatever, and you would have multiple world champions. But when you go on to say Bellator's middleweight division is the best in the world. The heavyweight division is not going to be like, so you're saying we suck? No, they're just saying they're better. And if you want to prove that you're better, then have better fights. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with Parrazzo either because it's not like she's wrong. You know, besides Tessa being a little like, look at the last few crop of knockout champions. Parrazzo, pretty dang good in the ring. She, like Eddie, needs to work on, improving herself, both in her cardio and toning up her physique some. I ain't gonna sit here and say she's unattractive or that she's fat or anything like that because she's not. She's very healthy. She's very talented, but like with Eddie, I expect my world champions to look like world champions. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Eddie, fucking crunches. They ain't a cereal in the morning. Although kicks are, and they're delicious. So, like, just watch what you eat. Eat enough. Please don't eat less. Eat enough. Just eat right. People are like, diet's such a bad word. No, diet is literally what we all do. A diet is the things you consume.
Yes, that is literally what it is.
Like, you're fucking stupid. Shift your diet a bit. That's it. Shift your diet to include more greens, more lean meats, more high proteins, more grains, less wine, less beer, less whatever Eddie is eating, which is probably everything. AC Romero and Falaba, eat whatever they're eating. And I know that sounds really bad considering they are the two biggest guys on the roster, but they're also two of the biggest weight losers on the roster as well. So, like, I don't know. They seem to have an idea what they're doing. Just, Eddie, I'm just letting you know, like, I want the old Wolf back. I want the Wolf that was really good, and I want the Wolf that was super athletic, and I want the Wolf that didn't look like he was a hobo who got his hair stuck in a lawnmower.
Yeah, I was, like, when EY beat Eddie for the title and then attacked him after the match and possibly injured his leg or whatever, the part of me was like, okay, here's a bright side now. Eddie's gonna be off for a few weeks or months or whatever. He can get himself back in shape. He can clean up his look a bit, and we can have more of the American Wolf back. Nope, came back 2 weeks late. Fantastic.
I don't think anyone likes this Eddie. Honestly, like, we like Eddie. Eddie's a great dude. Like, as a human being, Eddie Edwards is an amazing man. He's a recent father. He and his wife adopted a little girl, and she's just the cutest little thing. And his wife's a good person, and they're generally, well respected, and everyone loves them, and they've never had a bad report ever about anyone. Eddie Edwards was once managed by Dan Severn. That means nothing to the context of them as people. It's just an interesting footnote in his Ring of Honor career that no one ever talks about. I need to bring it up as much as possible because it's Dan the goddamn P. Severn. But, like, Eddie, bro, sit-ups. Fucking order pizza once every other week instead of twice every week.
Do a plank every once in a while.
Like, order cheeseburgers without the buns. Cut it with a meat. It's fine. Switch to grain pasta. Like, there's just, like, come on. And Deonna, your cardio still sucks. I ain't just, girl, you and me Italian. Like, you're already like 8 steps above everyone else in my book. It's one of the reasons why Marco Bellinelli is one of my favorite NBA players. He's a bench warmer. Boy's Italian. Danilo Gallinari, same thing. Andrea Bargnani, I don't think you're a bust. I don't think you're great, but, like, yeah, all right, you average 20 points a couple times. That's pretty cool. Deonna, like, spend like an extra 30 minutes, or spend 30 minutes on like a cardio machine. Or if you're worried about your knees, and cardio machines are terrible for your knees, do like 30 laps in the pool every morning. Yeah. Build a pool if you don't have one, and that's great cardio too. There are ways to improve your cardio in the ring. And I have a feeling that Kylie is gonna outpace her. And, like, if this was an actual fight, I'd be like, yeah, Kylie's gonna outpace her and beat the shit out of her. But, like, this isn't a real fight, so, like, Deonna's, whatever. You know where I'm going. Anyway, we don't like the intergender on the show. We think it devalues divisions all around just to cater to, like, 12 people who like it. Jordan Gray should be headlining Bound for Glory against Deonna in a fucking knockout title match. But I guess, all right, whatever. Here we are, sticking her in a goddamn ho-hum 6-way intergender match. If Rohit loses, I'm just going to fucking walk away. I may not even finish the goddamn show because he just won the goddamn title. And like, if it was just the X Division hopping, all right, fair enough. But everyone's hopping belts. Like, Swan's gonna win. Spoiler alert. So like, we're gonna hop the world title. Kylie's probably gonna win. Oh my god.
Probably, yeah.
Good Brother's probably gonna win. Oh my god.
Yep.
I don't like how this is being booked. I can't wait for MLW to come back. We might just switch to watching MLW. I don't know. We'll see how Bound for Glory goes. Oh, I'm so done with this fucking nonsense booking. Oh my god. If the Good Brothers win, I'm going to cry. Maybe not really. I'll just roll my eyes and go, that's stupid. All right, who you picking for the X Division title? I'm going with Rohit.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Rohit on this one. I honestly don't think them putting Jordan Grace in this match means anything, other than for whatever reason they decided to give her that spot. I honestly don't see them giving her the belt on this.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I hope you're right. Because I don't want to keep devaluing the knockout title just because people want to see intergender wrestling. I've been repping that fucking division since 2007. You've been on this show since 2012. You, of anyone, should be able to rep my credibility in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Knockout title is the best women's goddamn title in all pro wrestling. Don't even at me.
Gail Kim versus Taryn Terrell won our Best Match of the Year award in 2015 or whatever it was.
Not best women's. Best match.
Best match. Period. Done.
2013, by the way.
2013.
No, I think you're right. 2012. She won the belt at 2013. Because she, I think, squared off with Gail Kim in a rematch at 2013 Slammiversary. Or maybe it was 2011 Slammiversary. I don't remember. It's on the website. We got to start doing the awards, by the way. That's coming up next month. Yay!
Yay!
The COVID awards. Yay! I can bring 3 of my friends. Hey, lady, how much are airport tickets? I don't know why that Crank Yankers special is so goddamn funny to me, but here we are. 2,000 Who Caresies. Love it. It's so good. I'm looking it up, by the way. I need to know. Mid-year report card, yearly awards. Here we go. I got to do our Hall of Fame this year as well. Got a lot of things coming up for the end of 2020, people. All right, scrolling down. Match of the year, feud of the year, bust of the year, match of the year. Sorry, second last. What am I doing, Chad? 2013, Taryn Terrell versus Gail Kim. So that's what it was. Last knockout standing at Slammiversary 11. Yay! So far, that's the only women's match that we've had to win the match of the year. We generally don't have a typical match of the year list either. Like, when you look at it, we got the end of an era. We got 2 Survivor Series matches. No, I'm sorry, which one? EC3 versus Spud. The Great War. Cody versus Nick Aldis. Like, these may not be your match of the years, but they are ours. Who's winning the tag title match?
The Great War actually won?
Yeah, shockingly.
Huh.
2016, The Great War. Bound for
our views have changed.
Yes, they have. To be fair, we also opened up our voting for the fans, so.
That's true.
I did not vote for the Great War. I can promise you that. Although it was great seeing Ipswich. Ipswich, whatever his name was.
That was the Hardys versus Decay, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we just point this out and admit that had Jeff Hardy stuck his Willow, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Can't have nice
And
things.
are we talking about when he became Willow the first time, or when they rejuvenated him into Willow?
Either case.
Yeah, I mean, we said on multiple occasions when it happened that if Jeff Hardy became Willow when he originally did, and actually, changed up his moveset to something that's less detrimental to his body, and something that's less Jeff Hardy, would have been fucking amazing. because the character work was fantastic.
Oh my god, it's so good. The laughing, the look, kind of looked like a character out of Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm. It did.
The way he was stalking Rockstar Spud. Mr. Ethan, I don't think we should be out here. It's almost nightfall. Spud, it's 11:30 a.m. Well, it's 7 o'clock somewhere, sir. Tag titles. Who's winning?
Tag titles. I know who I want to win, but I know who's going to win, and it's the Good Brothers. Because, obviously.
Well, they just had a special, and it was awful. Scott Steiner
Shocking.
showed up. Scott Steiner showed up, though.
Really?
Yeah. They had a dude who looked like Brutus the Barber Beefcake dress up and look like Ric Flair. So that's like 2 layers right there. And the Good Brothers like, yeah, we brought the Nature Boy. And then Scott Steiner's like, I heard the Nature Boy's here. And he beat up the fucking Brutus the Barber Beefcake impersonator. Who was impersonating Ric Flair. And the Moore's like, Scott, what are you doing? That's not him. It's not. It looks like him. That's the only good moment of the special. I'm not a fan of the Good Brothers or their humor. Just not my thing, yo. Just not my thing. All right. I too want the Motor City Machine Guns to win, but the Good Brothers are going to win. So.
Mm-hmm.
Deonna versus Kylie. I would like Deonna to retain. I'd like to have some stability in these divisions.
Yeah, I would too. I have said from the beginning, and we both agreed on this, that Deonna is a fantastic worker.
Very good.
She needs to cut some weight. She needs to work on her cardio. She needs to work on being a little more crisp in the ring. But other than that, she's fantastic. And I see her as as one of the very like old school, like a Ric Flair, Nick Bockwinkel type of champion that will hold the belt or will always be around the belt and be a heel, but also build up others around her through their matches. But she won the belt too soon. She should have won it from Jordan Grace at Bound for Glory.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the match that's happening right now. But we have this, and it's pretty obvious that Kylie's going to win. They've basically been positioning her for this, I feel like, since they brought her in.
And like the thing is like, here's the best way to describe Impact. And I made this analogy last night. It's like the dude that asks the pretty girl who has no business going out with him out, and she says yes genuinely, and then he's like, oh my god, and then he dumps all the money on the limousine, and then he's like super fucking clingy, and like every 5 seconds he's like, are you having a good time? Are you happy? Do you like being here? Because I can't think of another reason why you would always give the farm to every new signee. Usually going, hey, we have our own television network. We don't ever have to worry about getting canceled. We have money to spend. We're going to give Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega $1 million. Come work for us and help us rebuild our brand. That's usually all. Like, hey, what's AEW's offering? $300,000, we'll give you $325,000. With half of it being in your downside guarantee. So, like, if you don't even work, you still get paid. How about that? Bam! Sign. But Brian Cage, John Morrison, Taya, Deonna, the Machine Guns, even though we love them, so many of these guys got belts just because they signed.
Yeah.
And here we are again. Eric Young, for Christ's sakes. And I'm sitting here going, how does Scott D'Amore think Eric Young's a big get? He wasn't a big get when he left. Like, all right, NXT, he was all right in, but then he goes to SmackDown in, like, 2017. We don't see him for 3 years, and then you re-sign him, and it's like, oh, my God, Eric Young's the Bound for Slammiversary main event. It's like, all right, that would be like WCW signing fucking Brooklyn Brawler at that point and putting the belt on him. Like, why would you do that? Like, fuck. Marty Jannetty's WCW World Champion because he once one time held the Intercontinental title for 2 weeks before that coward jumped through a window. Fucking Bobby the Brain Heenan, man. So we're both picking Kylie. We both want Deonna. It's fucking. Then we got Swan, who's just not a main eventer, and then Eric Young, who's definitely not a fucking main eventer. Like, it's kind of like, which mid-carder do you want to have the belt? I don't know. I'm going to go with Young mostly because he's already champion, and can we not, can we just have a world champion who's a world champion for some time? Like, for Christ, like, Swan's not an improvement on that philosophy that we have an issue with. Like, putting the belt on Swan is just another hotshot booking decision, and even if you keep the belt on for 2 years, he's been in the company for 2.5, and he still hasn't gotten over. So what exactly do you think is going to happen? It's not like he's fucking Willie Mack, who keeps having opportunities yanked out from underneath him. Swan's gotten opportunities. He's gotten hurt. He's gotten in some, with his wife and whatnot. So, like, what are we doing here, folks? Like, why is Swan in the main event? I don't know.
Why? Here's the great question here.
Why
To anyone who
event?
thinks that Swan might be a possible main eventer, why are we thrusting him into the main event immediately after he comes off of an injury? That's not how that works.
Why are we putting him in the main event when he's retired after he wasn't around for 6 months and wasn't a star before then? It doesn't make like this. It's just not good. This is very, very, very bad, and I don't know what Impact is doing, and I'm scared. I'm scared, Zach. This company just looks like trash. Yeah. And I want to say that, like, I was so excited with all the names they were promising. They're like, we're gonna bring in EC3 and Mike Bennett and Miro Rusev, and we're gonna have like this great fucking roster, and Maria's gonna be back, and look at all the tag teams we're promising that we could possibly sign, maybe eventually sometime down the road. And then like half the guys don't come in, and like, oh, you got the Good Brothers, like that's not good. Like, no one was asking for that.
No.
Like we weren't hungry for the Good Brothers, homie. Like we weren't. I don't know why you thought we were. No one said we were. It's like bringing home fucking teriyaki and be like, I knew you wanted chicken teriyaki. I asked for chicken noodle soup. They're both chicken. Like, yeah, you gave us wrestlers. Not the ones we wanted.
No.
And everyone's like, well, you wanted them when in 2016 when them and Styles were negotiating. Yeah. It wasn't because them. It was because Styles. We knew they were a package group. It's like we signed Maria and we got Mike. We signed Allie and we got Braxton Sutter. Like, we signed John Morrison, but Ty ended up being the better end of the option anyway. So, like, thanks.
Fair.
Right?
Very fair.
So, like, we understand that sometimes you got to sign groups to get one person. Like, we wanted Xavier, and instead we got Trey and Dez and Wentz. And, like, all right, cool. Like, they're funny, but I don't know. Wentz is, like, literally the size of a toothpick. Trey is funny, but I wouldn't say he's a great promo. And Dez is phenomenal in the ring, but is about as charismatic as the actual Little Rascals from the 1920s. If they're trying to reprise the role today, and they're all dead.
Yeah. The amazing thing to me is with all of these title changes and everything that have been going on, the Rascals as a whole have yet to win a championship.
Like, even one of them, just one time, one thing. Like, I imagine like the three of them are like the small little kids, and like the grown-ups are all passing around titles, and they keep jumping for the belts.
I don't know why, but I went from an image of them as children jumping for championships that are just being passed around above them to back to Trey pretending to be Sami Callihan in the treehouse.
Thumbs up.
So good.
No. Trey, no. Thumbs up.
No, Trey. But like,
yeah.
What with the Eric Young and the Good Brothers of it all is like, for whatever reason, and I haven't watched the WWE product in a solid 2 years.
That's fair.
At least a year. At least a year and a half. But like, you're taking these guys that have left the WWE. I'm gonna loop in frickin' Heath and what's his face?
Heath Light.
Heath Light, yes, Brian Myers. Like for Heath, at least where he's at is perfect. I'm perfectly. He's doing what Heath should be doing. But Brian Myers, the Good Brothers, Eric Young, they came out. They got released from WWE. And first of all, I'm gonna call out fucking Brian Myers because his entire gimmick is him being butthurt at the WWE for not using him. And it's like, you weren't butthurt at them for being on their roster for several years and taking their money. But
yeah,
whatever, dude.
He was running in the Indies pretty hard, and then all of a sudden he gets a call and he's like, "Nope, later." Fucking 4 years of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if he had come back to WWE, been there for like a year, and been like, "These guys aren't using me, I'm out of here," and they'd be like, "Okay, fine, sure," but you weren't gonna leave until they made you leave. So, I give 0 for you. But like, they're taking these guys that left the WWE either of their own volition, but more that they just got released because they're not using them in pandemic, and they're like, oh, these guys have the mainstream WWE stink on them still, so we'll put them in big positions. But none of these guys were being utilized. These are all terrible. Like, this is very different than them scooping up Kurt Angle in 2006 when he was at the height of his game. Not the same.
Nothing you said is wrong. And like, that's the thing. Like, this is so poorly booked, so poorly imagined, so just awful. Brian Myers comes in as Brian Myers. He's so forgettable, we generally don't remember his name half the time.
Yes. I couldn't even remember his damn WWE name.
Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins. There it was.
Not even better. And like, I don't know, maybe he's good, but he looks like Buddy Murphy, and he wrestles like Zack Ryder, and he's got the charisma of, I don't know, the Matt. And I'm supposed to buy into this dude? Oh, come on. Come the fuck on. And like, the guys you've had on your roster that you've been building for years, you're fucking Willie Max, you're fucking Ace Austins. They're taking back seats to these assholes. It's like, what are you doing? Like, EC3 fair, because it doesn't matter what he did necessarily in WWE, because he didn't really do much of anything. He didn't get jobbed. He didn't wrestle any. But when he left Impact, he left as the face of the company.
Yeah.
So you want to bring him back and put him in a major role? That's fine. Eric Young's only title reign before this one was in the arguably the worst year Impact has ever had, making him arguably the worst champion Impact has ever had. And you putting him back in the main event scene? He never should have been in the main event scene. So I'm fed up with this company. I'm fed up with these decisions. I may have a different stance after Bound for Glory. Maybe, because it says like TBD. So people are still debuting in this fucking match, right? Like, fucking CM Punk shows up, sake argument, wins, calls his shot, beats Eric Young in the main event after Young beats Swan. All right, I already sinned my grievances because at least you shocked me with your deviant behavior.
Yeah. I would give you that one. If you brought in CM Punk and gave him every single championship in your company, minus the knockouts of the title, I would say fair.
Can you
CM Punk? I understand.
Can you name the movie I pulled that line from? The shock me with your deviant behavior.
I cannot.
Empire Records.
Oh, okay.
It was when when the grunge punk girl and Renee Zellweger were yelling at one another, and they're talking like, you know, oh, your hair's short. Oh, well, not as short as your skirt. And she's like, well, shock me with her deviant behavior. And then I think she said something like, let's not argue. Let's just rip. And then they started ripping up flyers that said they were being sold. It was a great scene.
Yep, I remember that scene because I only watched the movie the one time, but I remember that scene, and they're like, they were looking at the notices that they had been sold, and they're like dirty whore, slut bag. Let's just rip this damn thing up. I was like, oh, they're best friends. They rib each other, but it's all.
We got to remember April 8th is Rex Manning Day, so we have to collectively watch that movie again. We can't be mad. Not today. Not on Rex Manning Day. Oh, Ethan Embry, you delicious little delight. All right, Battle Glory is this Sunday. We'll see if it's any good. I'm going in with the most tepid of trepidations. There we go. But you know, I'm open to being proven wrong there, kiddies. Kiddos, kittens, and cool cats alike. We'll see if it's any good. I want shockers. I want fucking surprises. I want titles, stuff, and whatnot. It's going to be a thing. Zach, any final words?
That's
no.
That's about it.
RealNerdCorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. We're on Twitter at NERDCORP. We're on Instagram at RealNerdCorp. Zach, you can be found on Instagram, there it is, and DeviantArt at Radiance2020, RADIANCE 2020, correct?
You got it.
You can also find me on the Twitter at Chad Nerdcorp, ChadNerdCorp, and on the Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. So be sure to check us out there. We're done. Like, subscribe, comment. Go to the website, realnerdcorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. We are done. Thackeray, take us home.
Good. About glory.